Hello, everybody. I am currently reading this book, Darkest State of Magic by V.E Schwab, and I think it's time we have a conversation about modern fantasy and what I often call the first book in fantasy series syndrome. And what I mean, stay tuned. I've been reading this book, A Darkest State of Magic, for a read along, and there will be a live stream about it, but I don't have the exact date and time at the moment. So, if you're interested in hearing my full opinion and other people's opinions about the book and some discussion about it, stay tuned. You'll have news soon. You can follow me on social media. There are links below, or you can subscribe for it. I'm at page 110 at the moment. I've been reading the book for a week or so, and what I'm doing is, as I'm reading it, I'm also finishing some very short craft books and some comic books. And to be honest, I don't feel like I want to get to this book and finish it. And you know what? I can see that it will be a great book and a great series. Honestly, the writing is so lush. It's amazing. I love the writing. It's great. Or, the worlds, because it's not just one world. That's the magic of A Darkest State of Magic. The concept is very interesting. The world building is great. I want to learn more about these places described. I want to see what this Black London is all about. I'm dying to do that, really, because it's set up so well. I really want to see more about the life of Grey London, Red London, White London. It feels great, the soft magic system, because at the moment it's soft. I don't know if it gets harder later on, is so interesting. It has so many possibilities, and the characters we have seen and their relationship, they're complex, they're deep. You know what? I've read enough fantasy to know where I see great fantasy, and this is great fantasy. This book over here again. If you want to get it, there will be links below. They're affiliated. But you know what? I get bored. I get so bored by the first 100 pages, and that's because of what I said I call the first book in a fantasy series syndrome. Because up to now, this book has no hook. I know there is the hook, the Black London, and I know there is the hook that there's a great world building and you want to learn more about the world, but there is nothing to keep me thrilled and turning the pages one after another. This book is 400 pages long. I mean, look at that, that's very slim. I'm on page 110, so I'm over the quarter mark. Yet there is no inciting incident, there's just setting up stuff to happen later. And I feel like this is not a 400 book exactly. I think that's one part of one larger 1600 pages long fantasy novel. And in such a long novel, yes, you can afford to have 100 pages of setting up stuff. I get that. But you know what? The pacing here is off. There is no hook. There is no inciting incident for this long. There is no drama. There is just descriptions of the world, setting up stuff, setting up characters. There is some interesting stuff. Yes, there is some stuff happening as our main hero, Kel, is interacting with the various kings and queens of the Londons. That's interesting, and also with common folk. But you know what? It's just setting up stuff. And at the moment, page 110, something seems to happen, but it's not something that was what I was thinking that it was set up. So I'm a bit really, this pacing issues, this need for setting up the world and characters and explaining stuff is really turning me off many modern fantasy books, and this comes from a guy who has read the Malazan Book of the Fallen series and plans to read it. So understand that I can read long books. I'm not some goose who is only able to read 200 page long pamphlets or something. Uh, Maybe I'm becoming that guy. I'll come to think of it. That's kind of sad. There is a little hook in up to this point in this book. There is so much emphasis on world building and the setting and setting up stuff to happen later, and I don't feel I'm getting into the action. I'm not thrown into the action head first, and I'm told swim or sink, and maybe I'll show you more about the world as we go along. No, it's not. I don't. It's not that kind of book. And you know what? I get the appeal. Fantasy is about visiting new worlds and immersing yourself. And believe me, when you have details thrown at you, when you have this attention to detail that we see in this book, this lived-in feeling, it's amazing. You're immersed. Even things about ordinary life can be extraordinary and fascinating. But you know what? I feel that a lot of time in modern fantasy, and I don't want to just judge this book and say it sucks, because I haven't read it yet, and I feel that the issues will go away. My issues, at least, will go away as I read along. I get the feeling that it's very well made, and I get the hype. I went on Goodreads and read some of the reviews there, and there are a lot of 4 stars. And I get why the hype is there and why there's so many 4 star reviews, because yes, there are issues on this one. And I saw reviews for the next books, and some of the reviewers that had some lukewarm approach to this one said the next one is better and actually gets somewhere. But you know what? It's 110 pages in. I mean, there should be some drama up to this point. I mean, in Robert Zelazny's Amber, which is also a plane hopping fantasy of old, to this point, to the 110 page mark, Corwin has had raised hell, and the book one was over, and there were 5 more to go in the Corwin saga, and then there was his son. But never mind that. I mean, in 110 pages, Conan will have bedded 3 damsels and killed 2 monkeys. Robert Howard also had some great writing in there. I mean, even Steven Erikson, who did 10,000 pages long monumental epic fantasy, at page 100 of Guardians of the Moon, he had killed more characters than Martin will probably kill by the end of A Song of Ice and Fire. Ooh, it was a massacre in Guardians of the Moon. So yes, at this point in any book, at the 100 page mark, something should happen. I'm deadly serious, something should happen. Even in Lord of the Rings, which is a book that is famous for being split into 3 parts and had a slow start, things were happening at the 100 page mark. I think Tom Bombadil had already appeared, so there was some drama, some action, and there were the ringraths following them. There should be something to keep you at the edge of your seat, something to make you want to read along and see what's happening. And when you get to a point that you start to care for the character, then you slow down. I think that's what commercial fiction is about, and also non-commercial fiction. I mean, even literary fiction does that in a way. It starts with drama. It's more subtle, I guess, and more not esoteric. Esoteric is not the word. It's more internalized, but it's there. There should be something happening, and here I feel there's way too much time discovery writing stuff instead of going for a story. And okay, I guess that in the larger scheme of things, within the extent of these books, it will work. But I have to say that I don't like fantasy books being so enamored with their world building and their setting up stuff instead of going to thrill me. Yes, they're not thrillers, they're fantasy books, but still, that's how I feel. You know what? That doesn't make me that keen to go on reading, and that's always bad. Even though I want to see what the hell is happening with Black London. And no spoilers in the comments, please. Maybe I'm weird, and I'd love to hear your opinions about this. If you think that modern fantasy is oftentimes too verbose and too enamored with world building, and ignores drama and has slow starts, and that's turning you off. Or if you like it, I mean, maybe I'm not getting it. Maybe I've read too much sword and sorcery and older fantasy, and I feel the need to have these action-packed books, to have a lot of ideas put together at the same time. And I mean, I've been reading some Elric comic books that are adaptations of the Michael Moorcock stories, and I just love them, and I love this feeling. And you know what? Reading them and then reading this book that is, it has interesting ideas too, but it's kind of, slow, is not helping. So love to hear your opinions. As always, if you like this video, press the like button, subscribe for more videos like that, and I'll be here soon with other geeky videos. Thank you for watching.